Hi guys, this is Mary Lynn, obviously. I just want to give you in this first very short video a couple of things about Excel and just some tips and tricks. So first of all, I'm going to go back to the initial slide was an example I'm going to use. I found some data on age of athletes that won gold medals, and we'll use that. Here's the class example, and a couple of quick things. Across the bottom down here are tabs that take you to different spreadsheets, and on this spreadsheet, each cell has like a coordinate, like a map coordinate of where it's located. For example, this cell is in column D, row 8, and you'll see that over here that this is in its name of this particular location. And the thing that sometimes is really confusing is that you can type text, obviously, here, and you can type numbers, and notice this line right here, it's called the formula bar. Well, one of the things about Excel is you can type just like a word processor into the various cells, just, like you see here. You can enter numbers, but sometimes, for example, our instructor, Dr. Guy, if you look over here at the class example, notice that he kept saying, I left a formula here, I left a formula here. Well, in this particular cell, P5, in cell P5, notice that it shows up the number 0. But if you look up here in the formula bar, behind the scenes, that's telling you that 0 is what you get when you go to cell location N4, which is this one right here. N4 doesn't have any information in it, it's blank. So let me go back to P5. Okay, so N4 divided by 7. So N4, there's nothing there, so the program thinks it's 0. So 0 divided by 7 is 0. If we were to type a number in there, for example, let me put 21. Okay, and you would hopefully expect that this formula over here, as soon as I hit enter, this formula is going to change. And ta-da, it does, because now N4 has a number in there, and this cell is changing to divided by 7, or by dividing by 7, N4 divided by 7, and it gives you this number. Okay, so whatever number you type in here, this cell is going to change. It's dependent on this cell. So talk about independent and dependent. This one's independent because it doesn't matter what you type in here, but this one depends on what you put over here. Okay, so I'm going to erase that and it'll go back to 0. The other thing I want to point out is that anytime you want to copy something or select something, there's two different things going on. Selection is when you click on a cell using the left mouse button and you click in the middle and just drag. You click, hold, and drag, and that selects. Okay. Another way to select, and it's hard for me to show on this video, but another way, if you've got a large amount of data, is to click on the top one. Okay, so the first one, and what you can do is hit the shift and hold down the shift key. So you press the shift key and then go down to the bottom of your data, and I'm just going to pretend for the video that this is the bottom. And if you click on that last cell, notice that it selected, it didn't copy, it highlighted everything in between. So let me do that again. Click on your first one, or the top that you want to select, go down to the bottom of whatever it is you want to select, and before you click, press the shift key down and hold it, and then left click, and it will select everything in between those two. You can even do multiple columns like this if you had a whole range of data you wanted to do. Finally, something you're going to need on the Olympic data, if you if you want to use my data and practice that. This data I got off of a website, and there's like, I don't know, almost 2,500 different ages here. So that's a huge amount of data. And if you were to click, hold, and scroll down to the whole thing, that would take a while. And it would even take a little while. You'd have to go over here and go all the way down to the end of the data. So it's almost 3,000. 2,916, and you could shift click and that will select everything. But there's even a faster way to do this. So let me share the fastest way I've ever found to select large amounts of data. Click on your first one, and then on the keyboard, shift, control, hold those two down, and press end. And basically that automatically takes you to the end. Now hold the shift key down, and since I don't want all of those extra columns, hold the shift key down and use the arrow keys and arrow to the left back toward just the one column. Hold the shift key down until you get over there. And now you have selected all of that data very quickly. So there's some really nice navigational abilities in Excel. The last thing I want to tell you, and then I'll go to another video, is that when you select, it's highlighted like this, okay? And notice, you didn't change anything. But if you want to copy something, let's say we want to copy 34, just as an example, you go over here to this little box that's in the lower right hand corner, and you hover over that until it turns into the plus sign. You click, hold, drag. Notice that you've got a dotted line, okay, and it's copying each one of those. All right, but let's say you've got a formula in there. Let's say that we type in, we want to do equals, and we want to just for something to do, we want to take this number and click back into the cell or into your formula bar, either spot, plus, I don't know, let's just do plus 10 just for the heck of it. Okay, so now we have 122. This is just a random example. Now if I copy, watch what happens. I'm not copying 122 every time. What in the world is going on? Well, it's because I have a formula. And notice what this formula is. It says the number that's in A3, which is location A3, is being added by 10. So I'm adding 10 to location A3. But now let's go to the next box down. Wow. Okay. It says I'm adding A4 plus 10. So this is what you call relative references. It's all relative to the location of that cell. So basically this cell is taking A3 and adding 10. So when I go down one, it's going to go down one as well and add 10 to A4. And I hope you can guess what's going on here. A5 plus 10, A6 plus 10, A7 plus 10. So when you copy formulas, you're not going to get the same number because it's dependent. Remember, plain old numbers are your independent, your formulas are your dependent. It depends on what you put in over here, what your values are over here. And if for some reason I were to change these numbers, like 52, or 50, as soon as I hit this, then the cell that it connects to it using the formula will change. Okay, so I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to get rid of this, delete, and we'll go and do our actual assignment.